How about that for a Big Ten opener, a first road trip of the season? Ohio State is a 38-7 winner over Michigan State, but now it's Monday. And we're getting ready for October, and Ohio State hosting Iowa on Saturday, and we're back at Roosters. It is a fun, casual joint. Our new home, temporary home.
Temporary home.
On Henderson
Wonderful
Road.
home.
Which they've been great.
Oh, they're awesome.
Great.
They have been awesome.
Great.
And they've been hosting Justin Zwick, Bobby Carpenter, of course, Nicole Cox, having us in here to talk about the Buckeyes for a fun, casual conversation. Nicole, I feel like your score prediction was like in the right ballpark again. You've got your finger on the pulse of this team.
It was a little bit. I was a little bummed. I was like, I didn't want to root for Michigan State to score, but I was like, oh, they didn't quite get there, but that's okay. I was once again, guys, just so impressed. It's so fun to watch them play, and I just feel like the puzzle is complete. This is
Well, it's not complete yet. There's still a long way to go.
I mean,
it's first game in
what they
October.
They have all the tools. Let's say that. They have every tool that has been needed.
Did it just take you this week to come to that?
No, I say it every week.
She wanted to see.
She just wanted to make sure.
It's like you're making sure we don't lose the tool.
Yeah, we
You
don't
guys-
want to lose the tool.
She heard
I
Dale
feel
say that they needed to play someone with a pulse.
You know what? I'm like a broken record. Let's just call it that this entire
Okay,
season, because I'm
no.
going to keep saying the same thing
That's
over and
good.
over again, because I was so excited about it at the beginning of season when I heard the athletic director speak, and just the atmosphere in the Woody. I'm like, okay, we have everything we need.
They do.
Yeah.
They were impressive on Saturday.
They were very good. It's interesting, like social media. You guys are in the box during games, so I don't know how much you like check into the social media.
I
Take a
have
dip into the pool.
I've adjusted
Sure.
the way I cover games, and I no longer participate in the social media conversation.
Good for you. Just
Because
get out of
people are they're like, I know the score looks like this, but it doesn't feel like how it should. I'm like, okay, so let's evaluate this. You're up 24-7 at halftime. Feel pretty good about that. Everybody was worried, like, do we have a backup quarterback? You had Devin Brown go in and throw a touchdown pass. It was really a nice ball, like with pressure, reset, throws a good one. Ran the ball pretty well. Had some success doing that. You're playing a Michigan State team who is better than what people expected this year. They've got a really tough schedule coming up. Like they have Oregon. I think they have Oregon, Michigan, Indiana, and Illinois, which are both ranked and both look pretty good as we see it now. So I don't know if their record will reflect how good they probably are. I mean, if they're 7-5 this year, based upon everything that happened,
That would be a huge success.
that would be a great success for Jonathan Smith, who's a good coach, and they have some good young receivers. I think everybody saw their quarterback was a very talented.
Their defensive.
Oh,
front was really good, Bob.
Did they have like
They're good.
60 new guys come in? Is that what it was?
63, I think
Yeah,
it
63. So, I mean, you hit on a few
Yes.
of those, but I mean, they got
But you're
seemingly some of the right guys.
You're rebuilding your whole team.
100%.
But they gave up. Ohio State basically gave up 3 drives in the first half. One ended up resulting in a touchdown. The other 2.
Well, that one was off the turnover.
Yeah, that was off the turnover.
Well, I checked that. Yes, 3 drives. The one touchdown was the one play off the turnover. All of those, one was stopped by a turnover on downs with Cody Simon
Stuffing him right
jumping right over top.
Yeah.
I've never seen they didn't get any push, and Cody's like, bah, just like jumps over and grabs his face and like throws him back to the ground. And then you had 2 turnovers, the Latham punch out and the Jordan Hancock strip. And so people were like, well, they gave up, it's like 150 some odd yards, 160 yards on 3 drives. I'm like, but they got the stops.
Yeah.
So I understand, like, we want 3 and outs and turnovers and all these other things, but they're going to have a plan, and they have
Well, that's
some
what
good players.
people don't understand. You come in with a script of saying, all right, this is the defenses we expect to get against these plays, and you script out plays that work against those defenses, and sometimes it's going to happen.
And Ohio State, I think if you've noticed this, they haven't really pressured much in these games. They brought more pressure in the second half, and I think that kind of changed the paradigm that Michigan State was living in. But they were close in the first half, but didn't really get there quite as much as they would have liked. Then they bring pressure, and you see ultimately what happens. So I wouldn't surprise me if they start integrating some more pressure this week against Iowa and then moving forward against Oregon. But, I mean, the game was they didn't score in the fourth quarter, and they very easily could have probably had another 10 to 14 points and made that thing look even better. 38-7, you looked good, you looked efficient, you ran the ball well. Defensively, you got some turnovers, you gave up some plays, a couple chunk plays there, so there's some things to work on. But, I mean, against a team that you would say is a very middle-tier Big Ten team, you acted accordingly.
It does feel a bit to me, if that's the area that we're going to talk about defensively, Bob, it's like it's the choose-your-own-adventure stuff again. are you worried about the yardage, or are you going to celebrate the turnovers and getting off the field? Like that's
Both.
Yeah,
You want no yardage and
Both.
turnovers.
Yeah, you want
All right.
every,
that's fine. Jay-Z, what did you leave with thinking on Saturday night?
I thought it was a good Big Ten opener, on the road.
It's a pretty good environment.
Yeah,
too.
it's a
It
good
was.
environment.
They had a great tailgate all afternoon.
Yeah.
You had gray skies.
It's
of
a night game on the road. Anywhere you go,
Felt
when
like a
Ohio
Big Ten.
State's playing, I think you're going to run into some noise and all that good stuff. I think they handled it well. Offensively, came out and marched right down the field. I mean, a lot of quick balls, out to just kind of run plays, stretching it out. And I think Will did a great job. I think he's done a great job this whole year of really being accurate on those passes. Those quick ones sometimes you can rush them, sometimes you can get that, but he's just putting them in great spots. So first good drive, we have a penalty, we get behind the chains a little bit, you get your 3. But I thought we came out and started strong offensively, anyways. And that's what you want. You're on the road, you get the ball first, you go right down the field, you come out with points. I think that's a good way to start the game, and then they settled in a little bit and figured things out, and we got playmakers, and I think that's what they're doing. Hey, get the ball out of Will's hand quick. Let those playmakers get it in theirs and let them go do what they do.
The accuracy he's shown, I don't have the updated number in front of me, but I was thinking about it last week, and I was looking at he was grading out on the intermediate and short passes like better than anybody else in the country. And there's been choose your own adventure. Can he throw the deep ball? He may not ever have to.
Yeah.
Like,
That's the thing. When you have these weapons, why?
Let's get it out.
Get
quick and
the
let it go.
ball to him. We've seen it happen. JJ catching quick, going to the house, or get them the ball. That's all you got to do. Be the point guard, and he's done a great job at that. He puts the ball right where they need it, and the deep ball, yes, that's fun and that's exciting.
And
But
risky.
as a quarterback, if I can throw it 1 yard downfield and they want to take it 70 yards, I'm A-okay with that too.
Well, and then they run the the vertical breaking routes. If you hit those guys in stride, this is an athletic group who, you may throw up 14 or 15 yards, but they're running downhill, and you watch them make a guy miss or outrun somebody. I mean, it's just as good as putting it 30 yards
100%.
in the air.
Yeah, it works. And it wound up being 38 points for Ohio State. As Bob mentioned, they pulled all the starters in the fourth quarter. They were content to get out of there at that point. They took the cue, I think, from Michigan State's fans, which were loud early on and then left at halftime.
Well, the Mark D'Antonio.
Oh, yeah, he was getting introduced
Hall of
Fame,
of Fame for Michigan State in
Good for
between
him.
the first and second quarter. They had the interception. You got the touchdown. Like, first probably 20 minutes of game time, it was pretty live and raucous from what I was told.
And it was. And then Jeremiah Smith put a dagger in their hearts, and they all were deflated and left at halftime, which I don't really blame them. There also some rain came down at halftime. May not have seen that. I understand. I was in the press box. I was content to stay and cover the rest of the game because I'm going to talk about it in here at Roosters, which is a fun casual joint. On Tuesday at your local Roosters. This is
on,
Jay-Z
baby.
special. Is
The
Jay-Z going to
Jays.
do it?
The fried pickles.
The only way that I will eat a pickle is when it's at Roosters and it's fried with some ranch.
They are
Or
pretty good.
spicy ranch if you can get that. I haven't ordered the
If-
spicy ranch
Yeah,
yet.
spicy ranch is
It's
good.
up
But
to you.
It is up to you, but the best way, get in here, these pickles are to
$3.
die for.
How much do they cost?
$3.
$3.
$3, make it holler, Tuesdays.
What else can we do,
And-
Bob?
So, Nicole, we've got our Buckeye giveaway. We've got the
We do.
QR codes
There's
floating
also a
around.
QR code on the screen.
Or you can go to roosterswings.com.
Correct.
We have the second giveaway coming up here, I
Yep.
believe, in a couple days.
Yep, October 7th. So
October
Monday
7th.
is when I'll pick.
So you got another week to get in for this, but there will be a third giveaway
Correct.
in early November.
In November.
Vote early, vote often.
Yes.
You and 25 million others.
25
Nope.
million.
You guys,
That's
I'm gonna
behind.
tell you.
She said
Nope.
it's behind. It's 30
Oh, it's
million.
more? Oh, jeez. Nicole,
That's
how are
over
you
here.
even doing this?
It's thousands, but it's not. You definitely have a chance of winning. So let's put it that way.
999,000. You heard it directly from Nicole. It's in the thousands. You can make it $1 million if you go to roosterswings.com.
Yes.
And while you're there, just be thinking about who these Roosters Buckeye leaves are going to as you get ready for the Iowa game. Nicole's got a notebook full. She has a Schlegel level of options
is.
I
at her
do.
disposal here.
I do. And, guys, I was thinking about what you were saying just about a few of the mistakes we made. And, I feel like I see what you're saying about the standard that we're not supposed to make mistakes like that. But I feel like Michigan State, when they're playing Ohio State, just like Marshall, just like Akron, they're coming with everything they have because we are one of the best teams on, their schedule this year.
It's their Super Bowl.
So I just need us all to remember, I think the greatest thing about our team and people in general in life is would you
People
rather...
in general.
Yeah. Think about this.
Okay.
Bobby, would you rather like team up with someone that's had a perfect life and never any obstacles, or would you rather be with someone that has made mistakes and just comes back learning from them bigger and better? And that's what our team did. They didn't let it bring them down.
My wife would rather have the latter because she's with me, so I think she made that choice.
Well, I think that the choice is like you're not going to find someone who's actually always had it perfect. But
Correct.
if they believe that they have, that's the issue.
Yes. And I just think that these things are going to happen. You know, these teams are coming with everything they have. Even if they're not the greatest team, they are going to make some good plays because obviously they're playing college football. And I just like to take that into consideration. I think the greatest part of watching the game is watching the guys mentally not let it bring them down and just to snap back and be like, okay, we made a mistake, but now let's adjust this entire book we have in front of us of a script, like you said, and just adjust. And we still won, which was amazing.
I do think that's part of, like Bob brought this up with, you know, the live reaction to things. You can see mistakes. Part of the reason that I stopped, being on social media during the game is like because of what you're talking about.
You had enough negativity with the berm. Right?
Negative berm is right there to talk about it. But if you can adjust, like the first drive of the game is not the only drive of the game. The first game of the season is not the only game of the season. Ohio State responded to if you call it adversity or mistakes, and they got better as the game went along. When we talk about wanting Ohio State to start fast, play faster offense, defense, special teams, like that's all fair. But I think sometimes the opinion of a performance gets solidified by when you dwell, you're not opening your mind to the fact that they might get better, Bob. They might adjust and do some things differently. And again, I'm like, this is a straw man argument that we're talking
straw
about.
Man, I love a good straw man to argue
but like,
against.
I think if you just keep dwelling on the one thing over and over, you might be missing the progress or the adjustment. It's not that we won't talk about things that Ohio State did wrong and how it might impact them moving forward, but like they wound up giving up 47 rushing yards in that game. So
it's pretty good.
Yeah,
I
A
think
little more through the air.
Yeah, they gave up some stuff.
The thing was they did a good job with their
Thank you.
red zone, like end of drive defense, like forcing turnovers, having a turnover on downs. I mean, I would argue like the sudden change, you'd like to see them force a little more. I mean, it was a one play and touchdown. Like you'd like to be able to.
It's about the only time they didn't button up, though. I mean,
yes,
make something happen.
So I go back to this. I remember the 22, Peach Bowl against Georgia. Georgia marches down. I'm watching the game with friends. Everybody's losing their mind. We're gonna get killed. I go, they haven't scored a touchdown yet, so let's just wait and see what happens. Yeah. And then you hold them to a field goal. And then we go down and score. We're going to win. I'm like, okay. Just relax. There's going to be some highs and lows. But, like, it's not a touchdown until they get it into the end zone. You don't
score until you score.
And that's like the bend but don't break. I'm like, it's not necessarily that. Like, they're doing some things that might be good.
They're on scholarship, too. Their
coaches are, believe it or not, they're trying to win.
Yeah.
And so they're going to have some stuff that maybe we hadn't seen, we hadn't prepared for. Like, but then ultimately, when the field gets condensed, can you get a stop? And can you get it off? Like, okay, let's come to the sideline. Let's take a look. Okay, I mean, they've got some other things offensively. Hopefully, you can get it going a little bit. But, like, it's all right. Like, you can grow throughout the game, like you said. And the first quarter isn't always indicative or representative of what the whole entire game is going to be.
Not at all. And I think it's important, too. I think that's what makes a game great. And a lot of people won't agree with me. And I understand. Again. Well, I mean, honestly, it's boring when it's a blowout and nothing happens. And I get it.
No,
I know.
Going the other way.
I know everybody, but I think what makes
take me back to 02.
You just want a bunch of nail biters, Nicole? Let's not go to that extreme.
Those are stressful. But what makes it great is watching your team. I don't want to use the word struggle, but have to work really hard and achieve. And that, they worked hard to make the win and or just learned from it. They came across some adversity. They had some adversity and they had to work around it. That's when you see true strength. That's my belief. So I'm just really proud of them.
I love it.
I love watching them.
Who are you
play.
most proud of with the Buckeye
Well,
life?
Guys, like I said, the whole broken record thing. I mean, Travion had a great game. I'm just throwing that out there. And I'm just so impressed with the blocking from the guys on just offense in general. And so I wanted to be a little bit more creative. And
those blitz pickups from Travion were
big ones. Yeah.
It was incredible. I have that written down. I also just saw a little note I wrote. This is a Nicole note. Let's remember that. It's not a sports analyst note. One of the Michigan State players was talking trash to Quinshawn, like major trash.
Sure was.
Quinshawn
was doing a great job.
Nope, definitely
Keep
wasn't.
running
Nice
hard.
run. Keep running hard.
Nope, you could tell.
This got chippy pretty early.
And
wasn't it?
Quinshawn just turned around and walked away. And I know, like, just from what I've seen with the men playing sports, that can be very difficult. That can be very difficult when someone's talking trash at you. And I was just like, way to go, buddy. Like, that was awesome. Like, I just love that because that can cost you a game. That's like that's a whole nother thing.
Sure can.
But so I thought that was very admirable. And I wanted to throw that out there because I know maybe a lot of people didn't notice that. But I want to give my Buckeye leave to Chip Kelly.
Okay.
What a great addition to this team. And the offense has, in my opinion, never looked so incredible since I've been doing this with you guys.
Yeah.
So I just think that comes from a leader and Ryan Day as well. So it's just really great watching them.
It's pretty wild, Jay-Z, the amount of options in that playbook now.
Yeah, it is. I mean, it's really fun to watch just the different motions that they go with. And you know, that is to set stuff up later down the road as well. But, you know, just a lot of imagination there. And he's not afraid to get in and do some different things. And, you know, it keeps defenses on their toes, but it's fun as you know, somebody watching the game, like, oh, okay, I understand what he's doing there. He's moving that guy out there to get this movement, and here he's coming. You know, like it's fun to watch. So, yeah, I agree. I think he's been a great addition. I'll go. You mentioned Trey having a great game, and he did. I'm giving him mine.
Good.
But I mean, I think we had two scoring plays where he had some big blocks. The one with Devin Brown, which honorary for D Brown getting in there, backup. Things haven't gone the way he had wanted them to go here.
High leverage situation.
He gets in the game, he has his chance, and boom, he puts a nice ball out there, and Jeremiah, of course, makes a great catch. But Trey makes that block there. I think on the one to Emeka later in the game, you know, he steps up in there and gives a little bit extra time. So not only doing it through the ground game, which he was great at, he made a couple of nice cuts, get some yardage. I think he was over 70 yards or so. But you know, a couple of those blocks, and as a running back, you got to be able to do that stuff and put that on film and show, you know, the NFL that you can stick your nose in there and you can give your guys some time. And so I think he, you know, had a great game, and that's who gets my Buckeye leaf.
Yeah, this version of Travion Henderson is definitely the best we've seen.
Yeah.
Glad we all agree.
The best. Gosh, I really want to give it to the leading receiver in the game. It's not JJ.
Oh, yeah. It's not
not
JJ.
It's Emeka. And you mentioned, you know, there's some drops.
A couple.
He had a
Uncharacteristic drops.
He had a dynamite block.
Dynamite.
Pulling around and blasting their middle linebacker, number 27. Like, this is what I love about Chip's offense. I mean, we pull receivers, and, like, not just to block safety. Like, they're blocking linebackers.
Well, he didn't just block him.
He knocked him down.
Put him into the ground.
That's my point. It was a dynamite block. It was pretty darn impressive.
Yeah.
Brett Bielema does not get a Buckeye leaf for his end-of-half management as I'm watching this again, trying to remember how they didn't score before half, and it slowly came to mind. And then I want to give another one, too, to Cody Simon for his sweet stop on that quarterback sneak on fourth down.
Simon.
I've never watched anybody do that. Maybe outside of, like, Troy Polamalu, like, that's their solution. Just jump over the top and grab him. And he did it, and they stuffed him like he couldn't get a yard.
Yeah.
And it's the guys in front of him. There was no push, but Cody was the topper, the cherry on the sundae, if you will.
It was a tremendous play, and Ohio State needed it. I was going to give my Buckeye leaf. You mentioned him, Jay-Z. Devin Brown coming in off the bench. It's 17-7.
Yeah.
And, you know, there could have been a world where Ryan Day doesn't trust his backup quarterback, doesn't take that shot. Oh, you're at least in field goal range. Don't mess it up. Will Howard's on the sideline. He's got the wind knocked out of him. Just run it, kick the field goal.
I mean, it's 3rd and 10. Like, you could have taken a sack. You could have thrown an interception. Like, bad stuff that would have just affected the end of the half.
So Ryan Day, Chip Kelly, they have full trust and faith in Devin Brown
Big
to go
trust,
out there.
woo-woo.
That's what they got. I think that's exactly what Chip Kelly said into the headset. Woo-woo.
Probably.
Take that shot. You also have Jeremiah Smith over there, so if you can get it anywhere in his vicinity, he will probably reel that in. I don't know which of the catches truly was better. Jeremiah Smith said that the previous.
the other one
previous
was
one.
probably
The first
better.
one
Yeah, the
was
first
better.
one was better.
I
Kidding.
mean, that looked
Yeah,
like
I mean, that was like a.
You guys, he gets a Buckeye leaf from all of
That was
us.
a
I
jump
want to make
ball.
sure he's at least
yeah.
chosen. He was just like incredible
There's
out there.
two guys on him.
Yeah.
Too.
He only needs
and
one
what-
arm.
They're pulling his face.
Well, that ball's in there, and you're like, wow, okay, here we go. This
You almost
guy-
felt like he had sticky tape stuck to his
Yeah.
glove.
This-
You know, it was
Don't
so
say anything,
cool.
Nicole. They're gonna check.
Stop.
The sound.
It just was incredible.
The sound in the stadium on the second one, and even in the press box, where there are a few folks up there making a lot of noise, wearing some green stuff. That it was loud in the press box too. I'll just say that. Then they were like doing backflips over the fact that they got to see somebody do it.
You got to watch it.
When
We
you,
were all witnesses.
Yes, we were
I mean,
witnesses.
that's when you know you are an incredible player. When the other team is like, "Wow,"
Yeah.
you know,
There's-
he is very talented.
I mean, that's in film yesterday, and I guarantee they're like, well, I mean,
Yeah.
the guy
What are you
made-
gonna do?
The guy made a play.
Yeah.
You were where you were supposed to be.
Yeah.
Um,
Well, it wasn't terrible by them, but he's just better.
Do your best.
Well, and Berm said it in training camp. Like there's might be a time that Devin Brown needs to come off the bench and help save Ohio
Berm
State.
didn't say it. Berm said there will be a time,
He said
not
there will.
might.
I
he
wanted.
spoke. He spoke
Spoken
in
into
certainties.
existence.
I wanted to
Absolutes.
soft pedal the praise
No.
for Berm a little bit before he gets on.
Berm is a Sith Lord. He speaks in absolutes.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Now, here's a question for you, and this is I wasn't able to listen to it, but with that timeout, could they have brought Will back in?
No, because
Because Michigan State called a timeout, right?
we asked, and I guess that rule had changed.
Is
It
that
still
right?
has to
Right.
sit out the play.
And I was watching, they were like, oh, they called a timeout. We can bring Will back in. And then it's like,
Yeah.
oh, no, Devin's still out there. Great.
That was what I was told. I
Yeah,
don't
so-
know if that's wrong, what I was told. Maybe it very well could be. But at
Yeah.
that point, Will Howard had been checked out already.
Yeah, I mean,
Had 5 minutes. But, I mean, Devin Brown
I was just curious on that
was
role.
ready.
Yeah.
stepped up,
Yep.
delivered a football.
Great to
I
see.
mean, I fully thought they were going to run like Q power,
Something, yeah.
some draw, like it's 3rd and 10.
Something
like,
safe.
Just don't take a sack
Yeah.
and
Or
definitely
throw an
don't-
interception.
Don't throw a pick.
Yeah.
We've got sure points. Don't
Yeah.
lose 9 yards and definitely don't turn it over. And instead, it's like, hey,
Boom.
they're bringing pressure. Boom, reset. We'll throw a little.
You're going to put that ball right at the pylon, and he's going to put that paw out there and grab it.
And you're going to be on the highlight reel for the rest of the season.
That's
Literally.
Because of what Jeremiah Smith did on
Yep.
the other end of that, which was just bonkers. Okay.
It was. So yes, he definitely gets a Buckeye leaf too, guys.
We're all in agreement that Jeremiah Smith gets a
I'm in
Buckeye
agreement
leaf.
with you.
Yes.
Yeah. So, do you have a new score prediction for us, Nicole? It's Ohio
I do.
State,
You guys, I
Iowa,
keep feeling-
3:30 in the
I'm
horseshoe.
picking like I'm just staying in the same area with these scores, but I have 45-10.
45-10.
That's not bad. I like that score.
Mark it down. That's
That's,
another
I think my
cover.
score last week was 38-6, by the way. So I feel fairly vindicated.
I don't know.
oh, no,
I'm
Nicole
just kidding.
says.
I'm just kidding.
I changed my score on the Friday appearance on the Morning Juice to 38-7.
Yeah.
38-6. I changed it to.
Yeah, 36.
Ah, so you
I-
liked what
I
Bobby
tried to
went
keep-
with, and you followed
Well, I
him.
missed it by 1, but I had been saying 52-6 every single week, and I thought, let's mix it up a little
Let's-
bit.
I know
Mix it.
that's what I feel like. I've been saying 42-10 every week, but I'm going to pick 45-10.
What
All right.
feels like this offense scoring less than 5 touchdowns is something that's not going to happen.
Yeah.
So like the 35 number is
Yeah.
kind of the
35
base-
to 42 is going to be,
Yeah.
you're going to be living in that.
Iowa's defense is pretty darn good, though.
They
We'll
are.
get into
They
that
are.
in the second half of the show as we roll along at Roosters. It's a fun casual joint. Thanks to Nicole Cox for having us in here. She's going to get about the rest
Get
of
up
her
outta
day
here.
getting out of here, and Burma's coming in. We'll be right back.
Hey, Buckeye fans! As the official wing sponsor of Ohio State Athletics, Roosters is kicking off an incredible giveaway you won't want to miss. This football season, we're giving away 12 ultimate Buckeye experiences. 3 drawings, 12 winners with prizes including tickets, sideline passes, and 2 trips to a Buckeye playoff game. Go to roosterswings.com to register and see all the details. 3 drawings, 12 amazing prizes. Register today and every day. Roosters, a fun, casual joint.
Welcome back into Roosters. It's a fun casual joint, and Berm has arrived.
Good afternoon.
What's on your mind?
Where do we want to start?
Feeling pretty good today, probably. You guys got a win yesterday, right?
Bengals did get a win.
Yeah.
I'm still not going to say I feel good about it. They made Andy Dalton look like the best quarterback in the NFL.
Well, is it the fact that Andy's just better, that much better than Bryce Young, which might be
No, I mean Andy was great. He made throws that I haven't seen him make since 2014. So I mean he was really good. He tried to do his very Andy Dalton-esque like random turnovers that break a back of your team, and the Bengals just wouldn't have it. They just wouldn't accept.
wouldn't take him.
So
This is a Buckeye show, by the way.
oh, is that what we're talking about? Oh, You know what really grinds my gears?
Here we go.
Let's hear it.
You mentioned it
Oh,
earlier.
me? Gosh.
The fact is, Michigan State has good players.
Yeah.
They had a good scheme. They
They have a
have
really good coach.
a really good coach, and they scored 7 points, and their touchdown drive was 11 yards. And the to your point, you're talking like first drive, first quarter doesn't dictate it. Ohio State stopped them on 4th and 1,
Yep.
forced a turnover at the 10-yard line,
Yep.
forced another turnover at the 10-yard line. Do the Buckeyes not get credit for those things?
No.
Or do they only happen
Too many
because
yards.
Too many yards.
Like,
yeah.
Too many yards, Barb.
how come that's not good enough?
Because they didn't have any turnovers the other game, and they had like 11 3 and outs, but that wasn't good
That
enough.
was
either.
good. We need turnovers.
I just don't like the defense. Yeah, they made the plays when it mattered. Are there concerns about the defensive tackle depth? Are there concerns about the linebacker play? Certainly, like no one's going to gloss that over. But if you only
You
think
didn't
about,
think the linebacker play was good?
I thought Sonny played pretty poorly. I thought C.J. Hicks when he got in there played better. He's starting to elevate a little bit. I really like what you see out of Cody Simon. I think Arvell Reese is a guy who needs to be sharing at least the number of snaps that Sonny Styles is getting, if not more at this point. But no, I mean, we knew coming into the season that there's one linebacker who'd played. So here we
Yeah.
are going into week 5 or game 5, and there's still question marks, which is totally acceptable.
Did you think linebacker play was better?
I think it's been okay. Like, I don't think it's been spectacular. And yeah, it's a work in progress. Like every guy's had kind of their moments, and then they have the kind of some of the moments on the other end. Like, yeah, you'd like to have that back. And I don't think it's been bad.
I don't want to gas him up because Lord knows he doesn't need it.
Oh.
But Bill Landis said on the Sunday
It's full of
whatever
gas.
show is
Sound off.
So Sunday sound off. He said, and it made me chuckle as I listened to it on the drive down to Columbus this morning. Said Ohio State's best linebackers are their safeties,
Well, Lathan's pretty good.
and
When Caleb comes downhill like a
Those
miss,
guys are
like a
really
missile.
good tackles.
I can kind of get into the. I know exactly what he's saying,
Yeah.
and they obviously had the luxury of playing 7-8 yards further off the ball and have more time to see
You can
what's happening.
see and react. Yeah.
But my concerns there at linebacker, at defensive tackle, I don't know how concerned to be because I don't know if this is just a byproduct of Tyleik Williams being out and the Buckeyes like saying, hey, well, these are our guys. We knew that Hero Kanu and Caden McDonald and Jason Moore and Taiwan Malone, that these guys were going to need some reps to figure out if they could handle it. I don't know that they can yet. I think Caden McDonald's played pretty well.
Caden, I thought K-Mac's been pretty good.
I believe he graded out as a champion this week.
So you put Tyleik Williams back, and again, I said this last week, and I'll reiterate it. Not every guy is meant to be the leading man, right? And I don't know that Ty Hamilton is meant to be that guy in the middle. He is a complement to what Tyleik Williams does, and without Tyleik Williams there to do what Tyleik Williams does, I think it significantly changes the way that Ty Hamilton can impact the game. Now, he had a big play in the backfield.
he did have a nice one.
He's not playing poorly by any stretch, but he's a complementary piece to a pass rushing,
A vertical penetrating.
and he's not getting that right
Yeah.
now until Caden McDonald comes in the game. And so Hero Kanu and Ty Malone, like I just don't know that they have
Tylone is what Schleichs calls
the
him.
juice.
I feel like Saturday was another, flashing neon sign that Caden McDonald needs to be elevated in that rotation. Not ahead of Tyleik Williams when he returns, not ahead of Ty Hamilton, but
Be that third
when
guy.
you come into that
Yeah.
next conversation, the last 2 weeks, I think, have pretty clearly shown in that next wave with where Taiwan Malone is, where Hero Kanu is, where Jason Moore is, that Caden McDonald is the guy who is ready, I think, to take over.
There are some guys who come in the game, and when they're in the game, they make plays, right? And
Call those guys difference makers.
the
Bird.
Cadens are both the Cadens are that guy, right? I mean,
Yeah.
Caden Curry's that guy, Caden McDonald's that guy.
Just around the ball
the
guys.
energy's just different when they're out there. Like it just feels a little different. So I'm not gonna.
That big D energy is what you're talking
That's
about.
exactly right. I'm
That's
not
what the
gonna.
defense needs.
I'm not gonna worry that much about defensive tackle right now because I don't know if it's a Tyleik Williams issue or something bigger. We'll find out. We assume Tyleik will be back against Iowa, so we'll get a better.
He's trending in the right direction.
He was available on Saturday.
If I have a real concern about the defense, it's that I think that they're taking Jordan Hancock off the field too much. Regardless, he only played 19 snaps on Saturday.
Is that it?
Yeah, which is not a lot.
They go a lot of three linebacker.
Because they were going to a ton of three linebacker looks, and I think that there's reason to like that when you have Sonny Styles and Arvell Reese pushing and bringing things athletically. I tend to agree with Berm. I didn't think that Sonny had his best game, and that's the part where it becomes more glaring to me. Is if there are periods of the game where the linebacker play is struggling, and there's three of them out there, Jordan Hancock has been pretty proven over the last year and a half that he's invaluable, and I think he can play the run. He can.
He likes to
play
play
the
the
run,
run.
and he can, go strip the football out. I'm not making the decisions, and they should never listen to me because I'm not a coach. But I don't. When I look out there,
They should be like Austin's wife and never listen to him.
I think it's a great approach for everything to not listen to me. I'm just saying I don't love it when I look out there and I don't see Jordan Hancock.
Yeah.
To me, it's again, I don't know that Sonny Styles or even Arvell Reese at this point is a better tackler than Jordan Hancock. I don't know. They certainly don't play the pass better. Sonny Styles in coverage has looked pretty lost at times this year, and I do think some of this is ramping up towards Iowa, where you're going to expect to play a lot of three linebacker stuff.
Yeah.
But also, I think maybe here we are. It's the end of September, the time for
Said wake me up when September
right.
ends.
So I think it's time to wake up the Buckeye defense and say we've let everyone sow their oats. Now we know who's
We're giving everybody a chance to kind of get in there and get their feet wet.
right.
And now we
you
know
got your
what we need
moments.
to do.
Now we know. Now it's go time. You've got Iowa, Oregon, Penn State, Nebraska. It's
Not in that order.
It's go
No,
time.
I'd say
Yeah, I'm saying over
Nebraska's
the
before Penn
A
State.
lot of
it's go
games
time
coming
now.
up.
It's
yeah.
go time now.
It's go time.
It's go time.
It's time to get to the meat of the schedule, if you will.
Yeah, exactly. And also, I said Devin Brown would win a game for Ohio State, and he did, because that touchdown pass on Saturday ended the game because Michigan State quit after it.
I would agree with you on that.
They
And
had their-
I tried to give you credit.
Yeah,
Burr.
they had their spirits broken at that play.
Still,
You
Like,
should
oh,
have seen those guys walking off the field at halftime. They walking up the tunnel. There were, how many?
because you played a pretty good half.
Yeah, you
and
did.
You're still
Yeah,
down
and you're still down
24-7.
24-7.
And that to me is like Saturday's biggest takeaway is that when it comes down to it, talent wins, and Ohio State has more talent than anybody they're going to play this year. That's guaranteed to be on the schedule, and
I
you
think
can
probably everybody generally. It's the most
Well,
talented
I'm
roster.
willing to entertain conversations about
Other schools.
Bama or
Yeah.
Texas or Georgia. I'm willing to entertain the conversation, but certainly who's currently on the schedule.
Yeah.
The Buckeyes have more talent than anyone, and when you do everything right, and Jeremiah Smith does this, or does this while he's being face raped.
Accosted, face
Face
raped.
raped.
I mean,
The face,
Yes.
the face rapist.
Oh,
I like that.
and
Gotta
he
have a
still
couple of
makes-
those on your team.
that's a new term.
those moments are so backbreaking for a team.
Yeah.
Michigan State's 130 people were walking off the field, and then you got a couple guys who were trying to be the supportive
Let's
ones.
go.
And they're like,
Come on,
guys, this is how they said it. Guys, there's a long game left. It's like, I'm like, man, even
They sounded sad saying it.
Yeah,
There's
even
a lot of
like
game left.
even the guys who were there to be the juice bringers were like, there's a lot of football left, guys.
football left.
A lot of
Oh,
football
guys.
left. So like they knew, and I don't know what happened. JT Tuimoloau absolutely ragdolled the left tackle, gets a sack of Aiden Childs, and I
Are
think
people excited about that?
yeah,
Are we happy now?
he
Like,
broke it. He broke at that moment. Aiden Childs was like, "All right, I'm done," and
Yeah.
because that was the first time he'd been hit. But as I continue to ramble, if I have one overarching complaint about the defense and Jim Knowles, this is what I had last year. This is a feeling I still have now. I think sometimes Ohio State lets the opponent dictate too much of the terms of the game, and just because Michigan State's running out a 12 personnel doesn't mean you have to have three linebackers if it doesn't suit your defense best.
Yeah.
And I know that Michigan State, it's Michigan State, it's not Navy, right? So two tight ends doesn't mean they're guaranteed to run the ball. Like, you can still throw it, and especially a team that's a heavy play action team like Michigan State is. I just think that you're playing into people's strengths when you just decide to take your best players off the field.
I think part of it, as you addressed earlier, is they wanted to get that package on the field and get some reps with that. You're probably going to need it against Iowa.
You're definitely going to.
There's going to be teams you're going to need to put those
maybe
guys out
Penn
there.
State. Like
Yeah.
there's
100%.
going to be some opportunities for those guys to all be on the field together, and I think you want to get them the reps and the experience of doing that together. Is it maybe the best thing today? No, but you need to get out there and figure out what you're good at, what you're not. Maybe Burn, like, hey, maybe they thought that they felt better about that prior, and maybe they don't feel quite as good about it now. And maybe that will be part of the deviation in the plan moving forward.
Yeah.
But I agree, Jordan Hancock's played very well. You would want him on the field as much as possible. And it seems like maybe a little more pressure earlier in the game. Like you said, whatever personnel group's out there, but don't let the terms be dictated to you.
You let Aiden Childs get super comfortable in that first quarter.
Yeah.
They did not attempt to pressure him. And
What then again with 4 sacks? I think?
yeah, but it all was in the second
Yeah.
half. I mean, it was just, and again, that point it was over. So except for the JT Tuimoloau one in the first half, it was the only one. So it's just something that I felt last year, and I had that just recurring issue. Like, go out there and push the pressure and bring.
Yeah, don't let their quarterback get comfortable.
Because you knew
in
that
those
he's the type of
opening
guy
drives.
that's going to make mistakes when you get him rattled. Like anyone who's watched him play,
Which he did.
He's a young player.
which he did. Like once you started to hit him, the clock sped up, and all of a sudden he was making a lot of dumb decisions. So overall, you can't be unhappy about a 38-7 win, but you just want to see the defense that everyone's looking at. This defense.
See the D.
Everyone's coming into this year thinking this is the best defense in the country. And now you're like, I don't know, the offense seems to be pretty perfect in bailing them out. So,
But
They've given out.
They gave
But
up
again,
7
that's-
points.
Like in the
It wasn't
season,
like-
we're at what, 21
that's
points or
why I'm
14
saying,
points?
I
like
think
the
we're
defense,
27.
the defense
20
is the
27.
one that made the stops. The defense forced the turnovers. The defense, like I'm saying, the people are saying.
The people.
I mean, they'd given up 6, 0, 14,
7.
and now 7. So they're averaging
27.
about 7.6 and change a game.
Not,
I mean, that's pretty good.
not too bad.
I mean, I don't to get under a touchdown, like especially as you keep going here. I can't imagine Iowa scoring more than 10,
Mm-hmm.
but I don't know. I mean, I don't.
But you get a special teams.
The
I
term
mean,
bailing them out like that to me is a bit extreme.
But again, this is the hard part of
it's
covering.
like they gave
football.
up.
Yeah, it wasn't like it was 38-35. The offense.
But you
bailed them out.
also have Michigan State midway through the second quarter averaging 10 yards a play.
Yeah.
Yeah, they finished.
Well, if things go differently at the end of that
Also-
second half, it
yeah,
could have been
same.
17-10. Or,
Devin
it
Brown
could have
broke their back.
17-14.
But they also had But they also had 3 turnovers. Forced 3 turnovers.
So it's a mixed bag, is what we'll call it.
It is.
Mixed bag.
But
Mixed reviews.
Ryan Day said last week he's not happy about anything. So why should I be happy?
That's a
Why
great.
do I deserve
Ryan's
to be
not
happy?
happy. Berm should not
Nobody
be
is
happy.
happy.
Nobody.
JC, do you have?
Live in misery.
Berm threw out 50 things there. Do any of those stand out as a concern to you?
No.
Or all of them, perhaps?
I don't worry about it. I think it's our first road game, first Big Ten game of the year. I think they had a good plan. I think they have some good players, and you're going to get the ball moved on you at some point in time. I mean, it just is what it is. It's college football. These guys are getting paid too. So I mean,
We get to say that.
yeah, well, they
now.
could say, it used to be they're on a scholarship as well, but no, they get paid
These
now
guys
too.
have
so,
NIL deals too.
Yeah, so it's like they are athletes. People wanted them to be there. Giving up a touchdown a game average. I mean that's really good as far as the defense goes in my opinion.
They're the only-
And I think they're setting stuff up now, saying, all right, we know we should win this game. Let's see what this looks like.
and
Let's
that
see
game-
how this goes throughout the game.
And the Buckeyes stopped trying to score at the start of the fourth
100%.
quarter.
Yes.
So, like,
Which
it
killed my
could've been-
over, but
I
I digress.
don't think they stopped trying to score. They were letting Julian Sayin throw it around.
I mean,
He didn't look
he did
bad.
throw a bomb on 4th and 1 with 2 minutes to
yeah,
go.
they were trying to score.
that was
They
an
weren't
interesting
trying
play
to
call.
score with their starters. They were trying to score on a Big Ten
yeah.
team with their true freshman
Yes,
quarterback.
a true freshman.
Yeah. I mean, there's still.
The 4th and 1 bomb was interesting
Yeah.
with 2 minutes to go.
Hey, you know what, man?
I always thought it was a great idea to try and fund your NIL by gambling on your own team.
That's what I said. I mean, why don't they get some seed cash and just start
Put it in.
taking the over?
We're going to take the over. So that way you're not cheating points.
Julian, hey, if you want to,
Yeah.
You
if
can never
wanna
bet
get
the
paid,
under.
if you want to get paid this week,
That's right. You better
Go-
chuck that ball
go get
downfield.
it.
Let's go.
We're going across the border into Michigan. We got an anytime touchdown for you, and it's plus 300.
Yeah.
All right? Do you want
You want it
that
or
money?
not?
Yeah.
Because Will Howard He cashed an anytime touchdown for anyone who was smart enough to take that when they crossed over out of Ohio. So great to see those player props back.
You know what else bothered me?
Oh boy, here we go.
I want to be very clear about something, and this is a message to Ohio State fans, but also fans of college football who may stumble onto our little YouTube channel. And if you're a fan of this sport, don't be a dick, okay? So it's fine to chant F Ohio when they're on the field. I get it. That's the way the Big Ten works, all right? But
You've been saving this for
if
2
a
days.
player is on the field hurt, like Will Howard was at the end of the first,
You don't cheer for
you don't
injuries.
chant F Ohio while Will Howard is on the ground
That's
being attended to. You don't cheer when he got hurt, which you did, you scumbags. So please don't do that. And if you're an Ohio State fan who travels, or
don't do that either.
if you're at the stadium, remember, when the player is on the field, shut up. Pretty simple.
yeah, don't.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
I've never been a proponent of cheering.
I've never heard that before at another Big Ten stadium.
It's disappointing to say the least.
It's happened pretty frequently to Ohio State, I would
Well,
say.
maybe I just was paying
Be
more attention
respectful.
this weekend.
I mean, I don't care who it
That's
is.
yeah. No matter what's going on.
It's in poor taste.
Yes.
If nothing else, it's in poor taste.
You can
So-
boo Kirk Ferentz.
And
on
I'm
Saturday,
kind of
though.
disappointed. And I didn't see Jonathan Smith in the press conference. I would hope that he would address that. Please don't
Yeah.
cheer for injuries, whether they're on another team or whoever.
Yeah.
I don't care.
Yeah, that was
Show some
really
respect.
like, ew, that's gross.
I would hope that Ryan would address that if that was that blatantly obvious that you could hear it.
You could hear it on TV,
Yeah.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
which was
If
the
you-
only thing that you could hear that made any
Which,
sense from the
sorry,
Peacock crew.
If you were having to watch it on Peacock because yeesh.
Yeah, but Quinshawn Jenkins definitely gets a Buckeye lead.
What about Jerry G?
Jerry G? Jerry G. Scott on his first catch of the game, Andrew Siciliano goes, and there's a pass to Jerry G. I was
Is
like,
that what he called?
it's like, what in the is that?
Colt
That's his nickname.
That's his nickname.
Let's
It is
just
now.
turn off
Jerry
Colt
G.
McCoy's microphone.
Look, we can just be glad that's the last time Ohio
Is
State.
that the last Peacock we have?
Yes, they are in the clear on that.
Good.
I do think that's why Ohio State, Michigan State was on Peacock, is that now the networks, CBS, Big NBC, and Fox don't have to worry. The box has been checked. They can take all of the games
They've
whenever
had their
they want now.
BTN
Yeah.
game. They've
They're
had a
done.
PTN.
Yeah,
BTN
we
is
got
done.
all those out of the way.
They're done. Now you can just have Ohio
Prime
State
time.
the rest of the year. So that's good, and they will be on Big CBS, 3:30 Saturday against Iowa. Jay-Z, have you cooked up a score prediction?
I have. I'm going with a.
It doesn't sound like you did.
Well, as soon as I was getting ready to say, I'm like,
I almost
that was
did.
just the score for last week, what we just talked about.
I almost did.
I think
It's
it's
a good
going
score.
to be 35-10
35-10.
against a good, solid defensive Iowa.
I like the 35 number, but I'm going to go. I like that 38. I'm going to
Yeah.
go with 38-6 again. It's good for me last
Yeah.
week. I mean, this is getting like
Good,
my. It's like
solid
my,
sure.
It's like my roulette numbers. I mean, I'm going to
Over-under is what? Or the line is what?
It's
23 and a half. Sometimes you just find a good score and you want to stick with it.
35
I mean, 38-6, 38-7 makes a lot of
Sounds
sense.
about right.
Yeah.
It makes a lot of sense. I'm going to say 41-13,
Ooh, high score.
but I think this Iowa offense is improved. They can run the ball. I do have some concerns about Ohio State's linebackers' ability to stop the run and or cover the tight end, which are just coincidentally the two things Iowa does best. So to me, I think you will see them score at least one touchdown and 2 field goals. So
Okay.
41-13. That's a cover.
It is a cover. I think Ohio State will win 38-10, Bob.
Okay,
Just tweak it a little bit.
I don't dislike that.
Because
Like, two
fumbles,
scores,
relying on fumbles is tough.
2 scores. Yeah, it is. I mean, relying on turnovers. To
And that's
blow you
5
out.
safeties, though, and Iowa can certainly get that.
They're not going to
No?
have 5 safeties. I'm gonna drill down on that. It'll be a touchdown and a field goal, but we'll find out on Saturday afternoon at
It'll
the
be
Horseshoe.
2 safeties and 2 field goals.
Could be that.
One touchdown and 2 safeties with a missed extra point. We can get there a lot of ways. When you're dealing with the versatile Iowa offense and their defensive scoring, you can get there a number of ways.
Well, I'm glad that I got a Monday math lesson at Roosters. It's a fun, casual joint. Looking forward to a full week of coverage ahead of Ohio State and Iowa. October is here. The meat of the Big Ten schedule has arrived. Let's dig in. And dig in on Tuesday for Appetizer Tuesday. Fried pickles.
Yes,
They're
sir.
3-0.
Tuesday's actually the start of October, just to be clear.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, start of October football. Are you happy now?
Yeah. Now I'm
Jeez.
happier.
Stickler.
Thank you to Jeremy Birmingham, Justin Zwick, Bobby Carpenter, Nicole Cox for hanging out in here and having us into Roosters. It's a fun, casual joint. I am Austin Ward. Have a great week. We'll see you in here next Monday.